Hi, this is David England here with KSM TV and another episode of How To. And today we're here with Chuck Jewett, who is with Hull Brothers Roofing in Los Angeles. And we really appreciate you being here, Chuck. We've got a lot of questions here about roofing, and we appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule here to be with us here today.
Well, David, thank you for having me on your program. I'm very excited to have a chance to talk to our roofing consumers out there. I hope I can add something useful to the conversation today.
Terrific. Well, Chuck, you know, we deal with a lot of people here that are trying to locate services in their areas, and they're not quite sure where to start. And roofing always seems to be a mystery because people don't usually climb up a ladder and walk around on the roof and look around. And usually when the trouble starts with a roof is when the roof starts to leak. Most of us don't really notice that ahead of time. So if someone was watching this program right now and they were in a dilemma and they had a roofing issue, what would be one of the first things that they should look for when trying to find a qualified roofer to work on their house?
Well, there are really opportunities for the consumer to have an encounter with a roofer. Unfortunately, one of them is when their roof is leaking. This is usually the worst time to be looking for a roofer, and usually because there are thousands of other people that are out looking for the roofer at the same time. They've got leaks, they've got a disaster, and a lot of consumers wind up going to the web, or they wind up going to the Yellow Pages and really just calling the first 5 or 6 people that they can find. This will oftentimes result in a wide variety of folks coming out, a lot of appointments to meet the roofers, kind of explaining the same story over and over again. And oftentimes the consumer with a leak winds up taking the first bid that actually physically appears on their doorstep and then hiring the contractor and really not having much opportunity to question the bid. So if we go backwards just a little bit and say, you know, what should a consumer do if they have roof problems or suspect roof problems and it's not raining and it's not leaking? So here's a good starting point, and this is to think about your roof more often than when it's just raining. So how do you find a good roofer? I've oftentimes said I really have a lot of problem with the term good roofer. I've seen a lot of good roofs built over my last 21 years here at Hull Brothers, and sometimes they're constructed by a painter, sometimes they're constructed by a handyman. It's not impossible to have them constructed by a competitor of mine, but what we find often is that the roofing or the roof system is not always merchantable. And so one of the problems with merchantability is that, well, the roof may be up there on the home, it may not be leaking, but it can't really withstand a inspection that the building codes, for example, does it meet building codes and does it meet roofer, or the roof manufacturer's specifications. So under the most ideal conditions, our consumers out there are going to be dealing with their roofs more often than just when it leaks, and this affords them a little bit of opportunity to do some research. Being in that position of having the roof leak is a terribly compromising way to approach roofing.
I understand what you mean when you say merchantable, and if it's not going to pass an inspection, if that person puts their house up for sale, it won't pass a home inspection, so therefore now they have to replace the roof before the home can be sold. So that is a really, really important issue. So trying to find the right roofer, you would probably want to check out their work and see, you know, see if they had a track record in it, see how experienced they were, whether they had enough jobs done and the work was quality, and probably check out their reputation as well.
Yes, absolutely. And there are some good starting points for the consumer. And again, one of the most reliable here, at least here in the state of California, is a state office of consumer affairs called the Contractor State Licensing Board. This is where a consumer can take some information about a roofer that they're considering, go to the California State Contractors Licensing Board website and start with just a good preliminary check of their license and the standing of the license. This is the year 2014, and I am competing against roofing companies that are literally down the street from me and claim to have been in business for 25 years. But if you check their license, what you will find is that they've actually opened and closed their business 5 separate times. So going back to just the absolute basic footwork and groundwork, when you're in a comfortable position, it's not raining, it's not leaking, you can start by going to the Contractor State Licensing Board. And there's probably, in most states, there's probably some type of way of checking on status of roofing companies or any contractor. Some roofing companies, including myself, we belong to the Better Business Bureau, BBB. You can check the Better Business Bureau, see if the contractor is a member, and then check their standing, because the the Better Business Bureau will also have a record of complaints against. Some of the other areas that people can look would be Angie's List. I very much refer Angie's List for finding contractors. This is a good spot because the Angie's List members do a pretty good job of posting accurate reviews, whether they're good or bad. There is Yelp. I'm not convinced that Yelp is one of the best places to find information such as reviews. I find that mostly it's negative reviews that get posted on Yelp. But there are some good starting points for consumers that are in a comfortable position. And, for example, at the very minimum, they could call a roofer and just get a free estimate or a free inspection of the roof. It's a good starting point.
Yeah. In roofing materials, is there a big difference in different types of roofing materials? And is there a difference in servicing a house, or do you need to service a roof on a house? Is it something that once you put the roof up, that it's done until it's worn out, or are there certain things that you have to do that you would make sure that you had a quality roofer or quality roofing company do the work and have the high quality roofing material or medium quality? I don't really know the difference. Is there something that has to be done in maintenance? Because I look at my own roof and I never go up there, and I wouldn't think that I would do anything until I actually had a problem.
Well, let's talk about materials first, and then we'll talk about maintaining the roofs. In olden days, and this is really about 20 years ago, the companies that sell the wide variety of roofing materials sometimes would sell materials that we would call a second. And it meant that this material, whether it was, say, composition shingles for a house or wood roofing for a flat roof, it meant that it didn't meet the quality standards that would allow it to be issued some third-party specifications or third-party OKs. This would be like the ICBO numbers, International Conference of Building Officials. And so there was a problem in the past with consumers unwittingly having a roofer go up and put something on the house that wasn't the best quality. Fortunately, however, almost all material suppliers, these are the companies that sell the roofing material, have done away with these products and really have nothing but #1 type of products from the best manufacturers available for sale. So even a nasty roofer can't go in and buy rotten material anymore. And so the quality of the products now are really the absolute best that they can be. They're very, very modern. And those products that have survived on the market are extremely well market tested, and all manufacturers will give either prorated warranties or they will give full no-dollar replacement warranties on their materials. So most consumers are at least in California, Los Angeles, are being protected from the junk material that has been out there in the past. Once you find the material you're looking for, whether again it's composition shingles or rolled roofing, most consumers can search online, looking at the manufacturer's name, and it does build a lot of confidence in the consumer. So once you get the roof installed, get it up there, hopefully it's done correctly and it's merchantable, and then let's talk about maintenance. So maintenance, a good analogy for maintenance is you can go and buy a brand new car. Everyone loves to have a brand new car. I think they like cars better than roofs because they can do something with the car. But everyone knows that the car will eventually need an oil change. It will eventually need new brakes, sometimes new tires. But these are really maintenance issues, and you still get to enjoy the car. What we find with most new roofs, once you have a new roof installed and it's done well, that maintenance is something that is to be considered somewhere around the 5th year of the age of the roof. So once you get 5 years down the road, it's sometimes hard to remember to do this. Sometimes the roofer can help you with this, but you need to contact the installing contractor if they're still in business, have them come out and take a look at the roof. And we basically know that maintenance on new roofs is kind of confined to certain areas such as the perimeters of the roof, the penetrations of the roof, and then on some roofs we have drains. And so those 3 items can be concentrated on. We kind of do our maintenance appointments with those specifications. We know the membrane, the roof is good. These are the 3 items we want to look at. If you change the oil in your car and once in a while do the brakes, you can get a very, very long life out of your car, just like you can take care of a roof for a very long time.
Wow, that's a handful of information, Chuck. I appreciate that, and it's going to be incredibly helpful to anyone who views this. So now, you're in the Los Angeles area. Hall Brothers Roofing has been in business for many, many years. And so if someone were watching this interview with you right now and they had a roofing issue in the Los Angeles area, what kind of experience would they expect to get if they called you at Hall Brothers?
This is our 86th nonstop consecutive year of business, and we've been here at our same Culver City address for 64 straight years, and this is now my 21st year with the company. What a consumer could expect by contacting us? Well, one of the most important issues that we want to get established with the customer is what is it that they are trying to achieve. Do they need repairs? Do they need maintenance? Do they need re-roofing? We like very much to meet with the folks and sit down and have a talk. On certain occasions, the folks will actually come up onto the roof with us, although we don't recommend that. But once we have the ability to go out and take a look at a roof, we generally find that our analysis of the roof and what's going on upstairs is much more detailed and complete and understandable than a lot of our competitors. A lot of our competitors have salespeople that may be simply hired for a season. So if you have a young person come out to your roof and tell you what you need to do, we sometimes find there's a little lack of confidence in that person. We're able to bring a very mature and detailed analysis to the client. It comes from the perspective of being a homeowner myself and really appreciating the good information I've gotten from contractors they've hired. But we do find that most consumers are pretty much amazed or sold on us. Just let us look at the roof and describe what is going on. They do like our honesty. They do very much like our very, very in-depth knowledge of general construction. So, for example, up on a roof, whether it's a home or a commercial building, you could have a roof system, a drainage system. You could have plumbing, electrical, heating and air conditioning, skylights, framing problems, stucco problems, a whole host of issues. Here in Los Angeles, there are literally no two homes that are the same, and so it's every appointment is brand new. It's completely different. There's really no tract homes in the Los Angeles area. And so people find that our knowledge of general construction generally exceeds our competitors. We know what building codes are, and we know what the installation specifications are for the material, and a lot of clients are to some degree amazed at how much the other guy didn't really know. Most importantly, I know I can't put a roof on every house in Los Angeles. It would be impossible, but we do offer free advice. If someone has just a question, whether they have a question about the roof or a question about a bid they've received, we're always here to help out with those type of questions, whether we're going to get the job or not. So I have architects that call me up and ask for advice on designs of roof and so forth, and they're not buying a roof from me, they just want advice. So a client who is in Los Angeles and looking for roofing has the ability to get on the phone or get on the internet, take a look at a couple of websites, a couple of companies, and we absolutely invite them to contact us for a free estimate. We can tell them what's going on.
That's terrific. Chuck, there was one thing that was a little bit different about your website, and there was some really helpful information on there for anyone in need of a roof. Would you want to just tell them a little bit about that?
Yes, we've tried to design our website so that it is a tool for the consumers that are out there shopping. Certainly a tool for people that have never worked with us before, but we have a document on our website that can be downloaded. It's called the 16 to the point questions. And so it is an excellent tool for the consumer that may not have enough experience dealing with roofing or has never dealt with roofing at all, and it allows them to use this guide to present questions or pose questions to contractors that may be bidding their roof. The document can be used for any trade. If you need a new driveway and you need to talk to 5 different concrete contractors, you can still use the same document. But it is a document that allows the consumer to really get some in-depth questions put to the people that are bidding their construction project, no matter what it is. And we really encourage people to take the time, just download the document and read through it, and as they receive bids and they consider bids, they should at least put these questions to the bidders themselves, see how well they answer the questions. Again, this is the year 2014, and most consumers would think that by this time in history, the underground roofing trade and just the unethical roofing trade would have been long ago weeded out by competition, weeded out by the law. But I have just here in December of 2013 went out to a home that had a roof on it, a roof installed by one of my competitors. It's 2 years old and it's completely defective, and this family is now, or the installation is completely defective, and the family is now in a process of having filed a complaint with Contractor State Licensing Board. So even today, 2012, 13, 2014, it's not 100% impossible for you to be victimized. So on our website, you're right, we have this wonderful document. I want people to go and get that. Again, you can't put a roof on every house in Los Angeles, but we do want to have a fair and balanced process of bidding. If I'm bidding against unethical people, their bid is going to come in low, mine will seem high, but this document is very, very valuable. It can be used in a lot of different situations.
Yeah, it's the old saying, you get what you pay for. And folks, if you're watching right now and you would like to get in touch with Chuck at Hull Brothers Roofing, I just have the number on the screen here now, and you can call them at 310-553-1999, or you can visit Hull Brothers Roofing's website by going to hullbrothersroofing.com.
Right.
And then on there and take Chuck's advice and download the document. Use it for your own peace of mind is what I would refer to it as, and hopefully you'll find that the advice that Chuck gave you in this document will help you get a proper roof put on your own house. So Chuck, I really appreciate you being here today and appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with the roofing consumer out there, and again, I hope that what I said made sense and they can make use of it.
Well, folks, tune in for our next development here with another how-to episode, and we'll look for you next time. Have a good day.